Welcome to the Burning Pallets Podcast, sponsored by Texsource. Here's your host, Brian Boland.
Ho, 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 bitches. Better?
Yeah.
You got to do that with the caricature.
Yeah. I'll have to, you are the character right now.
Yeah. Side note, I was told that I'm a little dirty. I got some ink on me. We were just shooting some videos. We have a nice little, I don't know how many series we can get. If we can make this into 10, 20, 30 different video series, we will. But we're currently making, I guess you can call it whatever you want, but like an oddball series, oddball prints, oddball garments, like book bags, golf towels, puffer or engineer jackets. I call them engineer jackets, or engineer sleeveless vests. Teaching you guys how to print on puffer vest or fleece vest, hats, all these oddball items that would take a different type of ink, a different style palette. We're just doing those prints, showing you guys, because the gist of it is, of you being a screen printer or me having a screen printing past, I would try and save money. Even now, your wife wants you to print stuff for her. Your friends want you to print stuff for them.
Yeah, it's especially Christmas time. You're scrambling, so that's kind of why we worked all of that in.
Yep. Is
all of a sudden you have to come up with Christmas gifts, and they get T-shirts from you all the time, so you got to kick it up a notch. And these are the off the beaten path, not your everyday garments, and so
they're nice pieces too.
Yeah, so far 2 days we've had to mix up silicone, and then we had to do a catalyst for the book bag. So
nylon catalyst, yep.
Yeah, and people they call it like a Nylabond, but it's really for anything that's slick that the ink can't bite into. So I think this book bag is polyester, but you're still going to use that catalyst.
But the idea behind this video series, again, as many as we can make, we will, is for people like you who's watching this video, screen printers, me and Mike who have a screen printing past, Mike a lot larger of a past of screen printing. My wife always comes to me wanting random crap printed for Christmas. Save some money, print a book bag for our cousins. Save some money, get me this tank top and print this logo on it, kind of crap. So we had the idea of doing this large video series on printing on book bags, Carhartt jackets. We're not buying Carhartt. We're actually buying, it's called Dry Duck from Carolina-made. It's nice.
I say the Dry Duck stands up to Carhartt. I think it's all of the Dry Duck stuff. That bag is Dry Duck.
Yep.
And those things retail for like $100.
The Carhartt jacket does?
That book bag. When I just looked it up to do my mock-up, I was like, holy crap.
Printed or not printed?
Just blank.
So the book bag that we chose in this video cost us $45, cost me $16 for the nylon binding agent. So you're $60 all in, $65 all in plus your labor, and you're telling me you got to buy that blank book bag for $100?
Yeah, that's like the retail. The vendors usually give you some sort of retail price.
Yeah. And
those are on the sell sheets a lot, which that's a trick. You know, if you got a sell sheet that shows somebody even a polo, and it's got it at $35, it'll say $35, and that's the MSRP. So you're getting it wholesale for $17, and then you embellish it, and you can still sell it in that, because the customer is going to see that. Yeah. And then when you give them a price that's better than that, it's a nice little trick.
Carolina-made had that on their site. Did you saw it or no? Or who did you?
I think once I saw the style, I Googled it because I wanted to learn. You've got to, when you get this stuff, you've got to go in and make sure you know what the materials are. I was wanting to see if there was a flap for embroidery that we ended up gluing it straight down to the pallet. So that was an easy one to print. Whereas some of these, they're going to be, it's going to be risky for sure.
I have faith in us. And this series is strictly screen printing. It's not embroidery, not DTF, not anything, but a screen printer, screen printing using a screen. We're not going any other way. And we chose that on purpose because we didn't want to teach embroidery, DTF. We wanted to keep it old school screen printing how-tos.
Yeah, what can you do with with your screen printing skills, and maybe we're going to show you something that pushes you over the edge to go ahead and try that. Not just for Christmas, but also
that's big. Yeah.
These are things that you can do, these items for some of your clients.
And it's big what you're saying. It's not just for Christmas, but you test those things during Christmas, give your screw ups to your family members. They don't know the damn difference. They think it looks good, but your customers will know if you have to print 50 of them. So do this testing during Christmas on these oddball garments. If you screw up, give them to your family members. If they look good, perfect. Your family likes them even more. But at least you're able to test and learn on these style garments with family, and then print them for your customers.
Yeah, and one of the weirdest things that we had as a request is in South Carolina, there's this big charity event. It's all these big businesses called Dragon Boat, where they get in these long boats and go across the lake. And it's a huge event every year. And then they give us, it's some sort of trophy type thing, but
they make their own boat, or what is this?
Yeah. It looks like those old, kind of Chinese boats with the dragon heads.
Yeah.
But then you get like banks and the big healthcare companies. They do this race, and it's all for charity. But they have us print these life jackets, like those orange old school ones. And man, those are a pain every year. You hate doing that offbeat stuff, but after now we know how to do it.
Yep.
Now we're kind of roped into it.
It's good. It's good practice to be able to, not just say, test on your family. They can't hate you forever.
I'm going to tell you what we used to do, because I think there's what in the law, like there's a time period. What's that called? Like there's a limit if you committed a crime so many years ago.
I thought you were going like common law marriage. I didn't know which way you're going.
What is that? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I was way off.
Yeah. The statute of limitations. So in the 80s, when I first started printing, our screen shop, and this is just how janky it was, we would order in a bunch of blanks around Christmas time. And then we would just straight up do the Nike logo. And it was the old school swoosh with Nike on it. And we would set up like a couple screens, different sizes. And then the employees would print on Gildans, these cheap ass Gildans. But
stock
everybody,
up for the year.
No, everybody, that's what they gave their people, for Christmas. So people would bring in their sweatshirts, and we never sold that. It wasn't something we were bootlegging, but the employees, they were printing the Nike, and the families loved it.
Yeah.
Because you got something.
That's why we're doing this series. I mean, just your family wants you to print you stuff. Or being a screen printer, you'd want to just think outside the box. You can get these items at wholesale. This put bag that you're going to see in the videos is $45. The Carhartt jacket / dry duck versus a dry duck jacket was $55.
Yeah.
Yoga pants were like $14 to $16. Nice. It's the same freaking yoga pants as you see everywhere else. A golf towel was like $4. We're going to print. Those nice fishing shirts, the long sleeve style.
It's got that UV.
It's got the little aerating mesh in it in between. We're going to print one of those. In the puffer vest, I mean, these are some nice items we found on Carolina Made Order ACC website. If you just go down through a couple pages, you find these nice items, and it's good to print for family members, and it's good for you to test in your shop. So nonetheless, you'll see the series coming out. It's going to be fun, and it's good for you guys.
Yeah, this year is going to be gone, and then we're going to be staring straight in the face at traveling clear to the West Coast for the Long Beach show, which is the show that all the screen printers, if you can only go to one show in your whole lifetime screen printing, Long Beach is the place to go, because it's in the winter. It's beautiful. It's on the beach.
What's the weather like?
Well, you're talking south of LA, so I'm guessing it's going to be 70s. I'm hoping, but it should be beautiful. I mean, it's California. I'm going to picture it being, nice and beautiful.
I guess California's cool. If I had to choose go anywhere, it would not be California. Going on vacation, which I would assume most people could care less about flying to California for vacation. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Or there's some definitely some destinations there. Like if you were like, I don't want to go to California for a vacation, but we're gonna go. What would you do? I would think you would love to go fishing in the San Francisco Bay.
That or the what's the big trees? That's that redwood.
Yeah, the sequoias.
So that'd be nice to do. I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be okay. So that's getting better.
Yeah, there. But that bay experience is completely you're not prepared for it. Number one, I went in July, so when we left the house, which was a couple hours away, my sister's house, and I had I brought a light jacket with me or something, but when we went out into that bay, it was cold
On a boat,
and
clearly.
and it was rainy.
Oof.
But that's the talk about the shirt business. There's the secret there is all these tour boats.
Yeah.
They sell sweatshirts. They're like $80 a piece.
Because people don't plan for it. They don't think it's going to be rainy, so they're making tons of money.
They don't, and so they get out there and you freeze to death. Fortunately, my brother-in-law, he got me all the wet gear because you're going to get wet out there.
Yeah.
But it's like it's rough out there. The waters are rough. But we had whales jumping. We were catching flounder and all kinds of But it's definitely. I know you like to fish and whatnot.
Yeah.
That is something that you need to put on your bucket list. Going underneath the Golden Gate Bridge to get out in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a I don't want to screw this up. There's a cannon. There's like some kind of like a war cannon up there too, up on the past the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, is there? I did not see that.
An old missile cannon, something of that nature. So
yeah.
But we're gonna be at Long Beach. You were talking about our big travels, a big group of us, me and Mike, Adam back here on the boards. He'll be at the trade show. We got a couple other people going from Texsource. Going to be in there with M&R. M&R is bringing us on as the Burning Pallets podcast. We're going to have a live studio there. Studio as in a 10 by 20 booth.
Yeah.
That's our studio. We'll be live, stacked every single day, 8 hours a day, talking to customers, vendors, M&R group, M&R staff, M&R managers, the big guys, the small guys, anybody and everybody we're going to be trying to talk to. We'll be limited, so we'll have a certain amount of time we can talk to each person, but if you see this video, you'll catch us at Long Beach. January 17th is Wednesday. The show starts on a Friday, January 19th.
Yeah, so it's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday there.
Yeah. So like you said, Mike said, it's a big show it's the biggest show for screen printers. Everyone loves it. Everyone loves going. And again, being in business, everyone takes off to California, uses as a write-off to visit California. But you'll see Burning Pallets live at this show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah,
and M&R is going to have this just a gigantic booth there, and so they got this space that sort of faces that 10 by 20 we're going to be on. So if you're in the perimeter of the M&R booth, you're going to see us there.
I'll stand up on the stools and dance in this thing. I'll get wild. I'm not technically,
is this after hours or could...
this is during. I was contemplating, I was going to say something. I don't want to implicate myself, so I'll stop. I'm not going to go down that path.
So Are you saying maybe there's going to be some beverages during the podcast?
I was leading towards that, but I'm not going to go down that path. I'm going to stick to, we'll see how it rolls. But I will still stand up and dance on the stools if people are curious.
Well, we'll have to at least do like at the end of the day, maybe. At the end of each day, whoever's on our last one, it'll be, crack a beer 30.
Yeah, and we'll call it last call for Burning Pallets.
Yeah. Someone's out there saying like, no, you're stealing our shit.
Side note, we did this video series yesterday, so I had to reclaim the Tex Blue. It was Tex Blue, right?
Yeah.
So we printed the nylon bonding agent, which it was underexposed because we were playing around with crap. When I went to reclaim it, it was really hard to kind of reclaim.
Yeah.
But today, when I just reclaimed the Pro Coat, that sucker just washed straight out. So I use the same chemicals, everything. So, your opinion, the Pro Coat, I mean, that sucker washed out easily.
Well, and we get this called into us, people saying like, hey, I can't reclaim this screen. But yesterday, the mesh was yellow 110. And why you have yellow mesh at 110, I'll never know. But the exposure...
We don't discriminate.
Yeah, yeah. The exposure would have... I had to guess at the exposure. Normally exposed at 30 seconds on a 110, they come out perfect. And when you were washing that yellow one out yesterday for the video, I said, "Is it a little slimy?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's a little slimy." So boom, it's underexposed. That's a recipe for a screen that's going to be tough to wash out. And
I wanted to pinpoint that to bring this up to this podcast. Like, I knew the difference, but I wanted to explain it from a customer standpoint. This was my issue. I used Tex Blue this day, Pro Coat this day, and it's emulsions when I'm talking about Tex Blue, Pro Coat. Difficult time yesterday with the Tex Blue, easy time today with the Pro Coat. The underlying reason was...
Yeah, it was the yellow mesh, and it was underexposed.
Underexposed.
The screen still worked.
The Tex Blue.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the emulsion's fault, but go ahead.
Yeah, it was the underexposure. Now, you know, you would learn from that and come up with a cheat sheet for the 110 yellow, or you just never buy 110 yellow. It's ludicrous. The yellow mesh is supposed to be for more detail, but if you're printing 110, you're not trying to do halftones or fine detail. It's going to fill in anyway. So I still haven't figured out that mystery. Whereas today I found a 110 white, and we were just out of the blue bucket. And so I'm like, yeah, let's use this Pro Coat. Now it was thinner, so it wasn't as thick as the Tex Blue. But I could like this emulsion too, you know, honestly. It's pink or blue. What do you like?
Are you in February and October? You use pink, and then the rest of the year you use blue.
Support the cause, right?
Yeah. We could do a gender reveal. If somebody in Texsource got pregnant, we could do a gender reveal with emulsion.
Yeah, we definitely could.
Segue off the top of that, it's Christmas time, and we're having a gingerbread contest here at Texsource. I don't know who's jumping in on this bandwagon. I'm doing the gingerbread house. So what we do is we build gingerbread houses, and it's a big contest. Each person we supply the house. You decorate it however you want to decorate it. Have little props on the side, little people standing up, whatever you want to do. But I don't know if you or Adam's jumping in on this contest, but
I think Adam has one.
I'm going to kick some butt on this one this year. Last year I wasn't able to because Sydney had just popped out a baby, but I'm all in this year.
I hate to be the Debbie Downer because I didn't do a pumpkin this year, and I'm not doing the gingerbread.
I heard it's $1,000 for the first place winner.
And I hope someone wins it that deserves it. Here's the thing is, if you're a creative person and you put your heart and soul in there and then you lose,
true,
it really, you know, just sets you up for, you know, because there can only be one winner, right?
I'm building myself up, and I'm like, I'm going to win, and I'm going to lose, and I'm going to be pissed.
Well, last year, I think Robert hired a team of people. This gingerbread, when he said it's a gingerbread house, this had, it was wired. It had full working plumbing in there. Yeah. There was a lake with a fountain.
There were lights working, truly.
There were lights working. There was actually people working on the gingerbread farm. There were crops growing. I mean, this thing was ridiculous. And when I saw that, I'm like, you know what?
Don't even try.
Yeah, I'm not, you know.
I think he's busy enough this year. He's not going to be doing that much, but I have a plan on mine. I'm not going to go to the extent that he did, but I do have a decent idea. Some people will get it. The old people won't get it.
Well, the
older crowd won't get it.
It is interesting seeing, you know, because we all work, you know, around the same people. It's like a family here. But it is interesting to see like what some of these suckers are going to come up with, because you just know that they smoked or drank and then come up with this idea.
That's when the best ideas come out.
Well, yeah, it does, but yeah, they're definitely out of the box, so.
I will say that when you see mine, it did not come out when I was under an influence of.
Yeah, in an altered state. Yeah. Speaking of altered states, what's going to be the company policy when we're in California? When in Rome, are we going to, do as the Romans? Because,
I don't know.
I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to dig deep into the handbook and see if there's a special clause for me, there.
I think because California state's so jacked up and effed up that we can do whatever we want over there.
Yeah, and then we come. It's like
they don't have any laws either. So I mean,
yeah, it's like Vegas, right?
There's bums everywhere. So why can't we do what we want to do?
But it's going to be like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
No, because that always comes back.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, I promise not to video you after hours. The cameras will be put down.
Side note: we're staying a little bit further away than what we want. Those hotels are astronomical. And we got 5 rooms. We each want to have our own room, clearly. But I can say for our group that is going, we're staying a little bit further away. Not far, like 10 minutes down the road versus a 2-minute walk. Yeah. So we'll have to Uber. So we're still right there on top of it. Saving money, and we're going to take that money savings and we're going to go to eat dinners. We're going to save money in hotels. It's still a good hotel, but we're going to put that money towards our food. And better food other than just McDonald's for dinner. And
I looked up that hotel, and it's actually pretty eclectically.
It's nice,
cool. It's round and shit. It's got like this old school style. But I do think with all this equipment, we may have to rent a vehicle. I would think, right? With trying to haul that.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah, one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a haul.
So yeah, Long Beach is going to be a lot of fun. It's different. It's going to be a different trade show than I've ever been to, you've ever been to, or a different trade show we've ever worked. Not strictly. We'll do videos, but we're there to do podcasts. We're there to talk to people. Burning Pallets. It's going to turn out to be a great podcast series for everyone to want to listen to. And that's why M&R is bringing us in there to do these podcasts. And we just don't bullshit about the same thing all the time. I don't know what we talk about sometimes. We just start rambling. But this trade show is going to be different for Texsource or Burning Pallets in the fact that we're doing these talks versus working the show, talking to customers. This time it's going to be fun. We get to play around this time, actually.
Yeah, and we're going to meet people that we've never met before, people that are on the outside, in the vendor side, and then some people that are in the trenches as well. So that's going to be really cool. And then we come back here, and then this podcast studio next year will probably change, and we've got to put this huge showroom scenario together.
Yep, we'll make some kind of big announcements. Side note: we need to make the announcements to our Instagram, Facebook, online, YouTube. That hey, we're going to be at the trade show in Long Beach, so we need to start putting those out as well. But to your point about where we're going to be moving to, we're going to be moving into a big showroom. I mean, this can be a nice East Coast showroom with all kinds of goodies for people to play with. Also, what we've been doing today, I actually burned a pallet. So that's funny. I didn't burn it all away. It just got a little brown. We were printing and we're just doing these one-offs and doing the videos. So we're jumping from printing to checking the video footage. Just like every screen printer, sometimes you don't pay attention. And I left a pallet underneath, and I just went on ahead and went to our sign right here, Burning Pallets Podcast. But it landed hand on hand.
Did you smell it a little bit when you come in here? Yeah. Yeah. It has a very distinct odor.
We burned a pallet today.
And it was wooden, so, those will, I've bubbled those before. Yeah. Whereas the worst smell in the world is to burn a aluminum pallet with a rubber top. That will stick in your building for like 6 months. Yeah. I mean, it's bad. So the wooden pallet, not too bad.
So yeah, Long Beach coming up next year, in actually a month and a week or two for us, but we'll call it next year. You'll see Burning Pallets in Long Beach. Come see us, come visit us. We're working, myself and Mike are working on this. I'm going to call it an oddball garment video series. We've got 2 under our belt. We've got 8 more garments to print. So you'll see at least, not 8, you'll see at least 7 more of these videos for sure. If we can have more, we'll do it. But a couple of things in the works is this oddball printing series that we're doing, and Christmas series that we're doing. It lends hand in hand. And Long Beach. What else we got?
Well, I think we're free of any more classes or anything that we're doing.
Yep.
We finally pulled off a one-on-one class, which was pretty cool to get to have somebody come down here and do the one-on-one.
The private classes, we usually go to the customer shop for private classes, but we finally had someone want to come to our shop for the private class, which is good. Whichever way we need to do it, we can do the private class. So, but we had someone come here, but we'll come to your shop as well.
And the one thing that I pulled from that, besides when it's private one-on-one, then you can tailor that right to the person. Like, what do you need to know? What's your expectations? So that gives when you do a class with a bunch of people, you have to kind of cover all the bases. Yeah. So that worked out really well.
Anyways, thanks for joining another podcast. Christmas time, Merry Christmas to everyone. If we don't see another podcast, you might see another one next week, or you might see one the 1st of January, or you might not see one until Long Beach Trade Show.
We got to do another one.
Yeah, okay, we'll do another one then. But thanks for joining us. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
See ya.